My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Monster Train 2, where we're in the dimensional portal to complete the vampiric curse. Can you win before your vampiric army withers away into dust? Primary clan is Lunacy, led by Ardun. We've got the allied clan of Reki's Lazarus League. Higher Heart just has good stats and nothing else as the Proto Heart Cage, but here are our three modifiers. Permadeath. When a non-champion unit dies, it is purged from the deck. Yeet-pocalypse, you must purge 2 cards after every battle. And also Vampiric Touch. All units enter with Lifesteal 3. All units, including enemies. I'm pretty excited for this because it's effectively just remove as many cards from your deck as you would like. Granted, assistants aren't going to be especially useful. This unit, when it dies, both gives me a Vampire's Tooth and also is removed from the deck. We've got 2 copies of Bloody Moon here, Chosen of Savagery. Those Bloody Moons are going to be pretty useful for the backline in the Chosen of Savagery fight. 2 copies of the Sanguine Assistant, 15 damage, 1 health. These are going to get removed from the deck pretty quickly. And then an Astrologer, 1 Ember 2 size, on Moon Cycle, gain 5 damage. Seraphim Chance, enemies with Rage. Archeon needs not to see an empty floor. Other than that, we should be fine. I suspect I probably need to look at what my Ardun line is first. I guess ideally I want him to be as tanky as possible, but Astrologer is a Selene unit, not a silent unit, so that means the Hierophant Incant line isn't going to be that great. But if I'm going to be removing many minions from the deck, then I'm going to have a lot of spell density, which suddenly means that Hierophant Incant does seem like the better choice. Yeah, I think I have to take it. On Incant, apply Armor 2 to friendly units. Silent units gain double the amount. So this will give us the ability to run an Incant defensive floor. Also, really importantly here, it gives that armor to the entire floor, which makes it possible for us to defend against the Rage Wings later on. But also makes us a lot sturdier against the Permadeath challenge. Oh, interesting. Capricious Reflection. Cards and reward packs and unit banners come with a random upgrade, or Lost Luggage. On the turn after deployment phase, draw until you have 10 cards. I really like drawing until I have 10 cards, especially when I have 0 costs and I have Incant, because it really helps what is fundamentally a scaling and, depends on your deck, but relatively slow build in Incant get off to a very, very quick start. I think Lost Luggage is exactly what we need. Draw 1 less each turn, that's fine. I'll still draw 10 on the first turn. So yeah, bottom line is effectively just going to be Ardun Astrologer, and then every single spell cast down here. Moon Ritual, Moon Ritual, Moon Ritual. Hang on. Hang on. I need to figure something out here quickly. Do I want to start removing stewards and stuff from my deck? Because if I do, I leave an empty bottom floor for the stewards to die. And in fact, I want to fight as high as possible. My draw is going to be heavily reduced because I'd be getting the Time of Despair every turn. But it gives me the ability to thin the cards out of the deck that I know... Like, Sanguine Assistant can't be in this deck for long. Spear Steward can't be in this deck for long. They will die. So why not get that done earlier so that my opening draw is so much more powerful? Alright, I'm going to reset this battle. I'm going to set up on the top line, and I'm going to throw chump units on every other line. These Shield Stewards, I intend to play units in front of them, because the Shield Stewards aren't going to die for a while. Everything else can go pretty much the same, though. Yeah, like down here. Spear Steward front. It's not going to die yet. Bloody Moon. Sanguine for the next floor as well, and then I can start getting a potion ready. Regen, sap. Give me sap. Better for the boss. Alright. And there goes that bottom line. Sanguine Assistant for the next line as well. Hell yeah. Bloody the Moon, the back line one more time. Alright, so we get rid of a Spear Steward and the Sanguine Assistant here. Next Spear Steward's going out soon. I mean, yeah, I'll give Vampire's Tooth to the top line. It's not a long-term strategy, obviously. That's... I guess... The reason I want to remove these cards as quickly as I possibly can, not just for the power of the opening hand of Lost Luggage, but also I really like thinking exclusively about how I build a very, very consistent board state. And if the minions are just capable of dying and being permanently removed from the deck, they can't be part of that consistent board state to my mind. And this has promise. No need to cast anything on the bottom line. More sap, a little more lifesteal for the top line, and that'll do. Astrologer, admittedly, with only 10 health, does feel a bit tough. Thankfully, we do have the Hierophant Path. I honestly don't know what we would be doing if not for the Hierophant Path. Great luck on these so far. So that's all of my stewards removed from this deck, both of my vampiric assistants. Yeah, you must purge 2 cards after every battle. I did forget about that. Thankfully, I'm pretty happy removing secret ingredients for a while, but I probably should have left myself with some minions as chaff to remove from the deck. Screw it. Let's see how thin we can get this deck. I'm never turning down a card. I'm going to always have to take one here, obviously. Moon Pixie, Fey unit. It's one size. Could slot onto that top floor pretty comfortably, but I don't really need additional conduit up there. Bloody Moon. We've got 2 copies of it already. Silver Strike, 25 damage to the front enemy unit. I'm going to take Bloody Moon. I'm probably going to remove it immediately. Pseudoscience. Randomly apply Lifesteal 2, Reanimate 1, or Spike 6. I don't know if a unit is purged if it dies but is still brought back with Reanimate. Potion Kit is fine at best. I'm happy to remove it in just a second. Let's get 1 Bloody Moon out of the deck. And 1 secret ingredient, I think. Yep. Maybe I shouldn't have removed those minions earlier. That's okay. Everything will be completely fine. Trust me. Getting a Lunar Coven unit is certainly more appealing to me right now, courtesy of possibly getting a Silent unit that wants to go on the same line as Ardun. However, getting unit upgrades for Astrologer, especially Quick or Multi-Strike, or even Smidgestone, so that I can put another unit on that line, are all really appealing too. There's Smidgestone. Meat Hook Hook Hand. The ability to advance an enemy unit, pull them out of the line. And Dazed 1. Makeshift Golem, I mean, unfortunately a lot of your value is when you die. That'd remove you from the deck. I could take Meat Hook and just throw it on the same line as Arjun and Astrologer. The only problem then becomes, how do I consistently make that line kill? The days to pull things out of order, it's super useful. Arjun is obviously scaling its damage on Moon Rituals, so is Astrologer, one of them from the Conduit, one of them from the Phasing. I certainly can't turn down units, that's not a thing we can do right now. I think I can Smidgestone Astrologer, because I'd be much more likely to want to dupe Astrologer later. I think these slots are absolutely precious. I can't just throw those on Meat Hook. Can't I? I absolutely can't I. Just gonna make him a bigger stat dude. Enemy units appear on each floor to start the battle. We can deal with that. Especially because we're, I believe, 1, 2, 3... so it's 13 card deck. Yeah, I'm guaranteed to draw... Wait, 13? 15. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's 4 line. Got it. We're not guaranteed, but we're pretty likely to draw at least one, if not both, of the Bloody Moons. Which really helps smooth that opening turn out. I could also throw Arjun at the front, because it'd be much easier to lose Arjun than it would be to let... oh, actually, no. It's non-champion units are purged. Okay, Arjun at front. Hell yeah. I mean, we full heal in response to that, so I don't even need to use Bloody Moon on that line. I will still use all of the Moon Rituals. And I do need to get the Sloven Knight to the front of the line. Otherwise, well, actually, Astrologer being the only person to hit Sloven Knight seems like it might be okay. That said, these Bloody Moons do nothing on the top line except for an incant, which incants are fine, but... First, let's Secret Ingredient see if I get Unstable, which I do. Okay. Pop that on the bottom line. Actually, bottom line? Top line. I can now keep my armor. Pop that on the top line. Bloody Moon, the target that was unstable. Now all of the enemies are dead. Getting a potion kit out early also has a lot of appeal. Yeah. And then I'll let you brew. You got Madman Infusion, so I'll play that on you and then brew again. That time I was looking to try and pick up a... I mean, we could use Secret Ingredient as just double incant triggers, as long as we're happy to burn the infusions consistently. Only problem is, obviously, you can get infusions that are good and infusions that are bad, and you might only have a choice of 2 bads or 2 goods in a situation where you don't want that. So Goliath Infusion for our backline, then Secret Ingredient looking for Unstable, which we get. Hell yeah, we do the exact same thing that we did last turn again. I'll happily take some rage. Completely anti to the spirit of it. I think we just spike enough damage to kill the Sloven Knight right now. Yep. That said, I could generate even more than it. And I will. boss is coming out, wave after that, so I can use Hook Hand on this wave or the next wave. I'll use it on this wave. Just to save some armor on Ardun. I need trinkets, I think. Take down both the backliners with the Bloody Moon. And then I'll just keep finding debuffs for you. Sap and melee weakness. Of course, Hook Hand is here to give you a wee bit of daze, too. Nice. Oh, they got to hit me once. Meddler. Summon phase on ability manipulate. It's a bit more cycling, obviously. I do like the idea of having this. The only problem is if I have this, I have to pay basically a secret ingredient or a potion kit for it. I'd pay a potion kit for this. Especially considering Ardun is incanting to buff the whole floor. And there's other units that... oh, I can't remember her name. It's Aurora something. There's other units that double moon cycle triggers, which would obviously love to be on that same floor. I could definitely see some one-size Selene units wanting to be up on that top floor, so going Capacity is one of my 2 picks. Take Meddler. And here I'll take Pseudoscience, which I'll immediately remove. Magic upgrades certainly matter, but how much? Like, Spell Chain is really good just to get more spellcasts, obviously. Faster scaling for all of the things that care about it. Holdover's kind of irrelevant considering how much of my deck I'm drawing every turn. Yeah. Double stacks, almost irrelevant. Slightly faster scaling, but not huge. Really, the reason we'd go there is for a Las League unit, but I don't think that's what I need. I'm going to hit the Merchant of Arms for a couple of different reasons, but especially because the Merchant of Arms sells cards. So, even if I don't want them, I'm taking Stoic Plate Mail and Steward's Quarters so that I have some cards to trash out of the deck on the next enemy, next fight, and that's the word I was looking for. Zone of Silence, equipped and played to the bottom line. That does help you avoid a lot of their most annoying stuff. That said, I do think if I do an overstack floor, putting a conduit for each minion on the floor would be really good for spiking Ardun's damage. There it is, Planetarium. Grants friendly units +5 conduit. I'll also take a Bloodthirsty Blade. Friendly units gain conduit 1 on Slay. That helps Mage Blade scale a lot faster. Leaky Pen. 1 less energy a turn, but draw 2 additional cards a turn. considering what our deck is, that's actually really good for us. Friendly units get plus 12 damage, deal 1 damage to them. Definitely not bad. Yeah. Yeah, I think I take Leaky Pen. Our most expensive card is 2 cost, and it gives me energy back. The rest of our deck are 0s and 1s. So definitely draw more cards. I probably end up going Capacity first, and then later, if I haven't solved energy in a different way, probably an Energy Relic. There is a consideration for Kleptodranium. The only problem with it is that I need to be able to slay to start activating it, so it's really good when I'm already doing okay. This will help us scale a lot faster to already be doing okay much faster. Now here's the problem. I'm gonna have blank floors against Archeon. Unless I want to run Meat Hook on a floor by itself, which will basically halve the damage that Archeon does to me. We probably have about 6 waves until he enters the fight, which means takes 15, probably closer to 10 damage off of my Pyre. Alternatively, I put them all on the same line. I think I let the Pyre take those hits. So thankfully, I can use the capacity of Steward's Quarters to enable me next turn to play Meddler, and then I'll replace the quarters with the Planetarium. So we can even use those cards. Right. Pop a couple of rituals out there. Getting ready to sap Archeon a lot more seems useful. I guess I may as well daze you. Daze you? No, I'll save that for the next line. Hell yeah. Meddler is summoned in the back line. Oh, actually, I need all of my energy first because of the Leaky Pen. Meddler is now summoned in the back line. Let's drop a Planetarium, which is 40 additional damage immediately for our Dun. Moon Phase for another +5 damage on the Astrologer. Yeah, I probably should have dazed last turn, it turns out. Ooh. Can I silence you with the Stoke Plate Mail? I can't, unfortunately. Wish I could. $54 damage from Bloody Moon. It's almost enough to take a unit out by itself. I think I will just focus on getting as many incant triggers as I can this turn. Not missing the opportunity this time. You get you get dazed. Ooh, can I double sap? No, missed it. Ocean Brew. I'm looking for more sap, please. Thank you. I can fully sap you, but you still will trigger a resolve phase here. Even if you don't attack. Daisy first. Oh, I'm looking for one more sap, please. Never mind, I guess. Actually, never mind. That is also enough to prevent the enemy from being able to do any damage to us here. Excellent. Only one card after this. Ooh. Lunar Cycle Staff, Moon Cycle. This equipment gains +1 damage permanently. Obviously very compelling. Heavenfall. Capable of getting other units, unfortunately. I'm so sorry, Double-Edged Bearer. I would love to be able to take you, but I would only ever be able to utilize you once. Lunar Priestess. Hello. Once eyes, lifesteal 3 on resolve, add a moon ritual spell with ephemeral to our hand, which is just one more incant, one more moon cycle, and one more conduit every turn. Silent units are certainly nice for the doubling of our Dunes thing, but the Selene units are working a lot better with my damage scaling on that floor. And I do want Heaven's Light. Gotta remove 2 cards from this deck. Stoke Plate Mail is obviously one of them, being a card I never play. Bloodthirsty Blade I'd like to leave in the deck if I can. Get another secret ingredient out of there. I really do want a good Merchant of Trinkets. The only problem is only getting 1 trinket from Merchant of Trinkets. Not that good. Dualism Titanite. Who wants these? Who wants them? Dualism on Meat Hook, who can't hold it because he's already holding 2 things, would be Days 2, which could be okay. Heartstone, Strengthstone, Titanstone. Well, let's look at the Lunar Coven unit first. Interesting. Selene Acolyte. 2 Ember, 2 Size. Mage Blade 2. So scales with that. And Lifesteal 3. On full moon, sweet. I don't want to have to end my turns on full moon. I do kind of want more damage on that line. Worst case scenario, I end up removing that card immediately. Dualism can't double the Mage Blade, just the Lifesteal there. I think I just straight up re-roll here. Large Stone. I do think large stoning the Astrologer to get it to immediately scale and makes it a much better defensive unit as well. It's pretty good. I'll take Conduit 5 for the Lunar Priestess as well. Just spike up a little damage on that floor. On Slay, permanently gain Conduit 1. That's really good for the scaling of that floor, buddy. How confident am I in our defensive abilities on that floor, though? Every time you slay Ardun, you would be giving 2 damage to yourself. And to the Selene Acolyte. I'll take Hierophant too. Put Astrologer first. I am going to need my largest damage at the front of this floor right now. We got to knock down the Scarred Sentinel to be able to crack open the egg and drink the yolk of the vicious Axe Thrower. Alternatively, I suppose I could just hit it with a Bloody Moon. Hold. I don't play those in that order because I have to go Bloody Moon first and then Lunar Cycle Staff and work from there. Cycle Staff. Suppose that should go on a unit that doesn't deal any damage right now. I do want the Bloodthirsty Blade to be slaying on the bottom line. Which it feels like is eventually going to be Astrologer. Just not yet. Meat Hook. Save your hook. We lose 6 armor for it, but it's irrelevant here as well. Fine. Hook this turn. Ritual up. Hit him with the Bloody Moon, then I can summon my Meddler, swap to Planetarium, and phase the moon once. Nice. We did get a Bloody Moon, so we will be able to collect the Collector. That's the only way to guarantee it, unfortunately. Those choices were useless. The choices I made, not the choices that were offered, to be clear. Alright. Okay, good. Now Astrologer is finally killing units! Woohoo! It's all I've ever wanted! Base again. This additional turn of Brief Respite, oh, so useful here. Just stack as many incants as you can. Oh, hold. I miss out on a slay from Astrologer by flexing unnecessarily on this turn? I don't think there's a way to get the Astrologer to slay both of the Disciples, though. I do need to Moon Phase, because that's scaling the Lunar Priestess permanently. Or rather, the Moon Cycle equipment. The Lunar Cycle Star. Lunacy, phase X times, apply 1x conduit. One of the most powerful things I can do, especially if I can amp the energy for it. Horrify, retreat unit, apply dazed 1, faulty body consume, apply fragile, nope, to a unit and spikes 40. I'm not making any unit fragile, buddy. I don't care how much armor I generate. There's too much risk. Alright, these secret ingredients need to get out of here. Potion kit's also pretty bad. Selena Acolyte's also on the cutting block. Merchant of Trinkets, Lazarus League Manor, and an Armory. Oh no, but the Merchant of Arms is also offering me cards. I can get 2 cards on the Merchant of Trinkets side. I really should do it. I need to visit Merchant of Trinkets eventually. Excuse me. Attuned Whetstone. On deployment phase, draw an equipment card from your deck, reduces cost to 0. That's great. Especially now that I've removed the worst equipment card. Advance the enemy when they enter your train. No, it's start of turn. If you're the only unit on the floor, that doesn't happen to me. Volatile Gauge. Draw additional cards, but their costs are randomized between 0 and 3. Make my deck unplayable. When you're out of when you're out of energy, cards can be played for their cost and fire health. Not especially useful for us here, frankly. Selene units get plus 20 damage in full moon, and silent units plus 20 in new moon. I could take that, but realistically, I think I'm better off saving my money right now and going for something else. Because that's almost irrelevant to the run. I would just be taking it to take it. Give a unit damage equal to its full health. Equalizing rings isn't necessarily good here. Reanimation Lab's not awful. In that I don't currently benefit from Steward's Quarters, so I can play the Reanimation Lab, summon my units, get plus 7/7, and then move on. Yeah, way too late to start a Pincushion permanent growth, especially when I don't have assistance in the deck. I'll just take a Meat Hook. If I get to use the Meat Hook, I will use the Meat Hook. I will probably not get to use the Meat Hook. That one's gonna die. Front non-boss enemy in each wave gains Reanimat. Just means I need to have another hit immediately afterwards. Ooh, Cycle Star, nice. So our biggest hit will be Astrologer in the front line. And then I think I need a Lunar Priestess as a small hit. And then we can go to a Meat Hook behind. And you're a Slayer? You're also a Slayer, though. Who wants to hold the Lunar Cycle Star? I guess Bloodthirsty Blade can go on Lunar Priestess. Alrighty then. Let's start cycling. Bloody Moon. Helps out a little. Lunacy would get us 12 more damage actually on the front line. Not enough to kill him twice there, unfortunately. Yeah, I think I should put Ardun between the two. Yeah, it's a much better idea. I can't scale Astrologer fast enough to really justify putting Lunar Priestess behind it. I'm gonna have to scale it for like 2 more turns at the absolute least until I end up getting it to a point where I can start using it. Next turn doesn't do it either. Which means my whole deck cycle literally couldn't do it. We'll restart this battle. Sadly, we're not going to be finishing off that Undying Wretch just yet, but we will be taking one of its things away. So it's easy to finish off after the fact. There's no space to summon another unit down on the bottom line. Yeah. Planetarium's going to go down here. I don't have to worry about that adamant shield there getting to the top as long as I can move him out of position. Hey. Instability will take care of the next floor, allowing me to just summon... I don't want to be sapping my floor, but I do want to be moon cycling pretty badly. That'll matter a lot more in the longer term. Okay, no damage from that line, thank you. And Lunacy for as much scaling as I can cheat out of this turn. Hit, take. Yeah, enough sap on the Lunar Priestess and Medla to prevent them from being able to damage the enemies does mean that both of these Undying Wretches are pretty likely to make it to my top line. If I can fish Unstable from my one secret potion, I'll be able to deal with that. I guess Meat Hook works too. Right? Did that Horrify not damage it? Oh, Horrify doesn't damage. It retreats the unit. Oh, I thought I was using a different card. The one that dazes on full moon. This dazes unconditionally. Alright, that's okay then. I guess I should have put the reanimation lab on this line first. It's really not going to be relevant. One down. Ooh. They're currently representing a kill on Astrologer. How dare you? I'm going to daze the boss, pulling it forward, and then I'm going to horrify it, pushing it backwards. So I still get my slay on the Ravenous Zealot. It's feeling a little more like maybe Celine shouldn't be at the front of the line anymore, but it was useful there. That's the Mooncaller. That's what we were looking for. Moon Cycle triggers an additional time. Silent units gain plus 15 on resolve if only I had silent units. Escalation's pretty good too, but I'll be taking Mooncaller. That's exactly what I wanted. Friendly units gain lifesteal too. Nope, I use armor. Horrify. Pretty important, I think, in this deck. Weaponized prosthetic, not relevant, but I'll take a Horrify. Remove 2 cards, if I must. The planetarium and our final potion. Empyrean Well to dupe a card after upgrading a spell twice does seem impactful. The best upgrades that I can really get from Merchant of Magic I've already kind of gotten. -1 cost Lunacy so that it gets another cast. Heal equal to a spell's cost. That's not really good for us. Bloody Moon. There's no good reason for me not to give you +10 damage there. -1 cost Intrinsic. I'm going to -1 cost Intrinsic or Lunacy. I'm going to double stack one of the Horrifies. Make it much better against the boss. -2 consume. That on another Bloody Moon is nice-ish, but after I get my next Ember, I'm not going to need that. Alright, we'll be leaving it there. This dupe is absolutely Lunacy. Luna's Cycle Staff is also really good, but Lunacy is, like, if I end all turns with a Lunacy, hell, I can play this at 0 cost and it still gives some of the best phasing that I need. Lunar Cycle Staff is obviously a lot of damage, but it'll be a lot more with Lunacy. Gale and his Cherubs, grant +7, sure. Absolutely got to be combating that on the bottom floor. Astrologer will need to go pretty early in the party for that. Alright. That's Steward's Quarters the bottom line so I can summon the Meddler and still have enough room for the Aurora Weaver Caller when I draw her. Hold. Haven't used Bloody Moon yet. Gotta use Bloody Moon first. Bloody Moon is already 30 damage, hell yeah! Stack up some conduits. And do I want to horrify anyone? Yeah, I'm gonna horrify the boss twice. I want to play Planetarium, but I have to wait. And then, yeah, +10 damage every time I play one of those with 0 energy. And that's just for the Astrologer. God, I wish I had a sweep unit on the bottom line. And no, I do not consider the conditional sweep of the Selene Acolyte here to be good sweep. Maybe if I find Quick for it, I'll start playing around it. Maybe. I can horrify here. Horrify? No, oh, yes, horrify. It's first Bloody Moon. Then summon Lunar Cycle Staff on someone. Oh no. Didn't summon the Moon Caller. It's gotta be that, then that. Which means, no, I'm not gonna be able to use Horrify this turn. That's okay, though. So now, every time I Moon Cycle, I get +2 damage on the Lunar Cycle Staff, because it double triggers. And also +10 damage on the Astrologer. Oh god, which... having Mooncaller out and then playing Lunacy is just going to be so good for us. I mean, first things first. We daze the boss. Now that floor is full, I can summon Planetarium instead, Metal, and Lunacy for much more damage. I can use Horrify if I really need to retreat one of my own units, including the Astrologer to the back line, if I really need to save them against a bunch of incoming damage. I'm gonna head up to the top line, daze the boss 3 times up there. With this density of Horrifies in the deck, as well as a Meat Hook constantly doing it, I think we can just keep the boss pretty well dazed before I ever have to actually deal with one. I'm gonna summon a Meat Hook on your line to just daze you, and then hit with another 2 days from the Horrify. That Meat Hook's not gonna die because Hail's never gonna get to attack again. So it all works out okay, and I can afford to do that. Alright. 8 turns of Dazed on Kael. Managed to secure another Slay on the Bloodthirsty Blade, but realistically, the Lunacycle Staff is so ridiculously outmoding it. Damn, honestly, another Lunacycle Staff is not bad. How could it be? Ritual Tome is definitely okay, especially if I could consume remove it. It suddenly becomes one of the most powerful cards in the deck because it gives us the ability to just ignore damage on our frontliner. But another Lunacycle Staff, I think, especially considering how I'm already playing, like, I think we just got like about 100 additional damage on the Lunacycle Staff that fight. This one's already a foregone conclusion. We said it was energy. Mandatory Purge. Gosh. It's really hard at this point. Bloodthirsty Blade is kind of down there. I think at this point I should probably cut the additional Meat Hook and Selene Acolyte. Merchant of Arms. Ugh, it gives me an Unstable Vortex for removing 2 cards, which obviously I'm not going to do. New Moon effects are always active, as well as restore 10 health on Resolve. Both of those pretty much useless for us, but I'll be taking them anyway. Hell, I'll take a Zone of Silence as chaff in the deck. Ooh, Swift Steel Dagger. Overgrowth Carapace is also pretty good in a certain context for the Astrologer there. Just increase the armor amount. We're past permanent gains being my focus. Yes, I will be skipping the double card removal, thank you very much. I already have pretty much the perfect deck. Enemies restore 150 health when they move up a floor. I do want to find on the lowest floor I possibly can afford to. Well, I got Mooncaller on the first turn, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to let the Astrologer grow here. Alas, so it goes. Who wants to attack quickly? I don't know if any of my units really want that. We're just gonna have to Bloody Moon, the Discordant Heretic in the back line. Celestial Bastion can rise, that's fine. I think these Lunacy scalings are really important as well. Steward's Quarters. Unfortunately, Astrologer would have triggered this turn. Damn. Snipe those backline units twice up, and then I think this is enough Moon Rituals to get us to... Nope. We're going to be short on that Avowed Gladiator, which means I will be hit directly into Pyrewhite. Because it's getting 140 health, moving up a floor. Ugh. That hurts. Horrify the Celestial Bastion, the back of the line. Yeah, the Avowed Gladiator only gets to hit me 3 times, so it's okay. It'd certainly be a lot worse. So happy to have Horrify this turn as well. Particularly useful here. This one's a wee bit of a toughie. Always knew it was going to be, though. Meddler goes down. Hell yeah. With enough damage to get the Astrologer over the hump of killing the Avowed Gladiator in a single hit, we're now capable of taking all the enemies on that line out. That 6 corruption on Astrologer is certainly annoying here, though. Perfect. Oh, I can even cast all of my moon cycles and still kill a Thane and keep all of my units alive. Alright, that cycle start that we started that fight is up to 102. Wow, another Mooncaller. I mean, that is honestly a lot better than having a single meddler there. Moonlit Glaive is also pretty good on that bottom line for damage spiking, but give me the Moon Cycle again, let's do it. Range transfer, sacrifice, transfer all damage, buff and debuff. I mean, sacrificing a unit, I can do that in the final fight a couple times if I want, because it's the final fight coming up after this. There's nothing I really want to do it to, though. Should have taken a card there, I forgot about that. Forgot about that for a second there. Let's get rid of a meat shield. Always knew that was going. Inferno room, no. Eclipse chamber's also on the cutting room floor, which realistically does mean I can cut it right now. It's time to cut. Especially with an Empyrean Well over on the Merchant of Arms side. I'll head there. Equipping a friendly unit under half health applies armor 10, otherwise it applies range 5. Start a turn fully healed champions, not especially relevant. Clan cards can only offer rares. Way too late for that. Draw a rune card from your deck, reduces cost to 0. When it becomes New Moon, apply armor 10 to silent units. I love that. Unfortunately, I believe we have, boom, 0 silent units. We've got a lot of Celine, though. On deployment phase, draw a non-damage card from your deck. It costs -1. Oh, wow, we finally got quick. Dualism's also irrelevant on these as well. Let's go reanimate on one of you, just in case you get hit, and quicken some damage on the other. More damage. And then additional health and more conduit. Great. We will actually use the Unstable Vortex here because the Eclipse Chamber is irrelevant now. Realistically, so's the other Bloodthirsty Blade, but we're not going to talk about that. Get rid of the Zone of Silence as well. I'm duping Lunacy again. It's not the definition of madness, because I'm doing the same thing and expecting it to work, but it does. So, it's different. I do need the Steward's Quarters on the bottom line in order to get all of the units that I want there, so that's our fight, buddy. Let's go, Seraph. Hey, Steward's Quarters. Okay, I mean, the fact that I'm not... Oh my god, both Mooncallers and all 3 Lunacies in the opening hand. Ah! And I even have the space for them because I have the Steward's Quarters already up. Holy hell! This is basically as good as that gets. That's just enough to keep everyone alive. Literally, we go down to the final health point on our backline there. However, getting rid of melee weakness on all of them on the first round and keeping them alive, incredibly important. They all have lifesteal to boost back up as well. And obviously, we also have our Moon Rituals, which we'll be playing. I'm going to throw the Meddler on the top line just to get rid of him. Planetarium is the other thing we're going to want to hit for the bottom line. Oh, I should have phased on the top line. Whoops. Missed out on the Moon Cycle. Well, triple Moon Cycle as well. So you get plus 15 damage at the start of the turn, as well as plus 3 damage permanently on the Lunar Cycle staff. And also that happens every time I phase. So 1, 2, 3. I should be dazing the boss. Forgot about that. This'll do that another 4 times. From 585 up to 657. Sick. Can't stop, won't stop, cycling the moon. The other Bloody Moon is almost enough to even take out the Ravenous Zealot by itself. Sadly not fully enough yet, but it's getting close. I'll just play another piece of equipment because I can. Our least powerful Lunar Cycle staff is already up to 260 additional damage. You know what, in retrospect, I stand by as many removals as I made to the deck as early as I did. I'm just gonna keep dazing the boss because I don't have to kill all of these units. We fight on the bottom line next turn. We'll be taking 5 damage to the Terrifying Amalgam. And then absolutely ruining Seraph's day. You are dazed for another 6 turns, and I don't think I'm gonna let you attack. And that's how you deal with vampirism. Leaving us with now only 2, I believe? 2 remaining runs in the dimensional portal that we have to do, but before that, we have a scene.
Come on, give me your best shot.
All right, brace yourself.
Ooh,
How was that?
not bad. For someone so small, you've got a lot of power in that attack. But combat isn't all about offense. You'll need good defense, too.
Well, I can't help but be squishy. I'm all mycelium and no muscle. But that's why me and my siblings came up with something clever. Guys, you can come out now. Get information. Da, 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 da. Done. Meet our lethal advantage.
Incredible! You can all fit in that piece of armor.
Yup. Our squishiness is an advantage. You can pack a ton of us in a single space.
In fact, there's dozens of us right in here right now. Don't ask how it smells in here.
Interesting. This will be useful to know when we fight alongside one another. You all look ready for battle. How about we put your formation to the test?
Bring it on!
For the moment,
My name has been Rhapsody, the name of the game has been Monster Train 2. Top left is a series playlist for all of my content of the game, past, present, future. YouTube recommendations are down below. Streaming past the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. Set up the thank tier. And special thanks this episode to Cold Heart. Hopefully you'll have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.